Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleash!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a bonus episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of Mighty Mascots, promoter of the Plastic City Comic-Con. And with me, always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana and Surrounded by Death. What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
I know we put this episode together like what, 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. It was like
it was all very last minute, but
very last minute, but it was good though.
Yeah, well, when we have a friend of the show that's starting a new endeavor, not only do we want to help promote, but we wanted to find out what the deal was, so that way we can get it. Maybe.
Yeah, I saw it on his Facebook page, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" Because I love George. I love that we got to finally meet him at Terrificon. In last July, was it? Yeah,
yes,
July. And after having him and Sam on the show a few times, and so
Catch the Craze podcast.
Catch the Craze. Yeah, we've been on there a few times. So yeah, it was good. And
that's right.
Yeah, I'm curious about this endeavor myself. But besides that, what have you been up to, man?
Just a little bit. So a lot of work for sure. Trying to catch up on comic stuff too. I've been trying to make this the year where I get my shit together. Yeah. I'm hoping by December my shit will be together.
But is that one of your resolutions, or do you even bother with that? Or
I don't want to make it a resolution, otherwise I jinx myself.
Oh, okay,
gotcha. but I have like a laundry list of things that I just kind of need to check off the list, comics wise, that I'm trying to like get done. The thing is, it's like I'll get new projects thrown at me or new ideas thrown at me, and I have a hard time saying no, even though when I probably should. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with too, is that it's like somebody's like, "Oh, I want to do this event," and it's like they'll tell me about it, and they want my input and stuff, but then it's just like now I'm just compounding everything I have to do,
Yeah.
But we'll have more information. Plus, last weekend I went out and made a hot sauce. So
I heard about
we're gonna talk more about that.
I saw you on Facebook with it, and I think it's Jeff, right? The
Jeff Levine, Silk City Hot Sauce.
Yeah. And I think he was talking about it too on Instagram or something like that.
Well, he may have been, yeah. So unlike other individual comic creators, the Talking Dead, that just put their name on stuff and let Jeff release it. I told Jeff, I was like, "Look, man, if you're gonna do this, if we're gonna make a hot sauce, I am going to want to just come into the kitchen and actually help you make it. So from A to Z." Roasting the ingredients and breaking them down and boiling them down into the hot sauce to bottling. I was there. I helped out throughout the whole thing. So this,
I love it, dude.
This con season, you should be able to get a bottle of hot sauce. That's Silk City meets Surrounded by Death.
Now, are you having a special label made, or is it going to use existing artwork already from the book, that kind of thing?
I have an idea of what I'd like to have done. I was hoping it's going to be existing artwork from the book, but the production time on that artwork versus when I need the label ready by for the con season, it's a window that's closing really quickly. So I might have to just repurpose some artwork and kind of go with the same thing, but ultimately I'd like to name it and theme it to go along with the next 2 issues of Surrounded by Death. And in doing so, I kind of need artwork that leans more towards that and reinforces that. Just a matter of time and availability and all that stuff. So
no, dude, I love that you're hands on with that. I think that's great.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome, man. With me, how's my voice sound? Because I'm like in the middle or getting over a cold.
You sound good.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound good.
I was wondering if it was like nasally or
No. You sound good. Do I sound like Satan?
No.
All right, just checking.
I have one of those colds.
My greatest critics would probably tell you I sound like Satan.
I have one of those colds that I feel like it's all just congestion in my nose, but like I don't have like the aches or the the cloudy head or anything like that. So it feels like
so it's not COVID.
Yeah, no. And I don't have a fever, so I feel like it's just like, bad like allergies or something, That's what it feels like anyways. But yeah, I don't know. Like, do you want to just get into this with them?
Let's get into this, man. Yeah, it's a special episode, so maybe a quick shout out to the chat.
Yeah, let's just say hi to the chat. We'll bring these guys right in because I'm
quick shout out to my cousin Roger Morocco and his wife Pam, who watches every show.
Pops is with us. This is interesting, so he's a little intrigued by everything going on.
Nice.
My wife, of course, is in the chat with us. George is in the chat, and
hey,
be guest. And ASAP, which I think is part of this company too. Yeah.
Yep. They're chatting from the green room.
Yeah, I love it. David Howard. Yes. Check out what is it? Awesome show and these fantabulous guests. Thanks, Dave, for joining
us. Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Let me see. Ben Soto. What's up,
Ben?
Guys? Thanks for joining us, Ben. Dr. Mask, always with
Dr.
us.
Mask, glad to have you, bro.
Been trying to get my shit together for 40 years.
Amen,
man. And then let's see, Manuel's with us. What's up, man? Good to see you here. He's gonna be a guest.
Inking and listening to this live. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
I love
great.
That.
Stay productive, bro.
Have you ever met Manuel?
I don't think I have, but he's really inking and listening live, so I'm already a fan of him.
I've known him for a long time. He's actually gonna be on the show
coming up
soonish, I think.
Awesome.
I don't remember the dates. I write people's days and times down and then I instantly forget. So that's how we roll here.
I need to meet somebody for like 3 times to remember their name.
Dude, same, especially at conventions.
At least 3 times, yeah.
Manuel says Satan.
Don't say his name 3 times. You might manifest him.
Ben says no more than usual, Johnny. Let me see.
Right on.
Johnny C. Is there any way to get the special vanilla coffee outside of a convention? Look at that.
Yes. So that's actually part of my getting shit together this year agenda.
Getting all the extra stuff ready to go.
Is basically, so right now I'm operating out of a Big Cartel page, which if you don't know or you're not familiar, when you don't have the knowledge or the resources to build your own website, you can co-opt Big Cartel to present goods that you can buy and pay for, but they limit you on the free option for only 5 items, and I've kind of outgrown that, so I've had to swap things out, swap things in, this and that. So for now, I'm going to point you guys to Big Cartel if you're looking for the vanilla blend that goes with Surrounded by Death. But going forward in the future, I might have my own platform or my own website where I'm just going to direct everybody for everything.
Yeah, I have a Weebly for both websites, for Plastic City, and
they wobble, but they never fall down.
Yeah, right. But I have that for Plastic City and for my own personal site.
Okay.
And I forget how much it is, but the basic package allows you to have 10 items in your store, and it's all done through Square. So I don't know if you use Square now as your credit card processor.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's all done.
Yeah, I do use Square, so that would line up probably.
Yeah, you should look into that. And
Nice.
The Weebly sites are really easy to make. Like, I mean, if you can put a Facebook page together, you can make a Weebly site.
Oh, I could barely put a Facebook page together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really easy. So yeah, look into that. And then let me see. President accounted for, Roger.
Oh, there's Roger.
And look at this, best vanilla coffee I ever had.
Oh, no kidding. Hey,
That's
thanks,
awesome.
man. I appreciate that. Enjoy it now while it's still available, because eventually, and probably well into issue 3, I may not have it anymore. So Vanilla coffee's available now.
Oh no, you might be discontinuing it, or
well, it's not really discontinuing as much as
phasing it
issues
out?
1 and 2 were about coffee,
I see.
and
I see what
issues
you're
3 and
doing.
4 are about the in-story game baseball. So
Okay.
I want to do like a new thing that surrounds what's happening in the story. So coffee just happened to be a part of issues 1 and 2. So for issues 3 and 4, it might be the hot sauce, or maybe I might make something else that, would go along with the storyline or whatever, or, maybe
Wow.
baseball jerseys. I don't know.
Okay. I know you might have
But enjoy the vanilla coffee while it lasts.
You might have some angry fans.
That's okay.
My wife said agreed. The coffee is the best, hands down.
Thank you.
Manuel also says his website's on Weebly, and it's a great site. So there you go, Johnny.
That's a lot of that's a lot of ups for Weebly right now. I'll have to check it out.
And then the real Manos says hello.
Manos, Hand of Fate.
Yeah, and Dr. Vass reacting to your coffee. Yeah, so I'd say, let's, without further ado, let's bring these guests in. Let's start with our good friend and pal, George. What's up, man?
What's going on,
George.
guys? How you doing?
Yeah, good to see you, man. And
good
then
to see you. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it sure has.
Yeah.
And a new guest to the show, Laurie Cunningham. Welcome to Indie Comics Relay.
Laurie.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, this is awesome. Well, I know we've had George on. Whenever we have a new guest, we always have to ask the question, the origin of the guest. Like, we always love to know how a creator got into making comics. Like was there a comic or a TV show or a movie in your past that kind of put you on the path to becoming a creator?
I'm fairly new to comics, kind of in
my
own opinion. And yeah, I growing up, I watched the 80s, 90s cartoons, Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man and stuff, but never really kind of read kind of what I always figured, like the legit comics, like Superman's, like actually them in comic form, I guess. It wasn't until I met Hades, which I'm working at ASAP Imagination, and he's the founder, and he basically corrupted me into the whole thing because he wanted to, he was writing his own comic book, and then he started his own comic book company, and then I was kind of on the sidelines cheering him on, and then he's like, oh, we should do a project together. And then suddenly I'm writing an anthology with him, and then we're writing an anthology. And then
so you had never thought to do it before?
No, not at all. And even he's fully into it and was starting his company. I'm still just I was more in the whole I want to be a novelist kind of writer side of things originally. And then we started doing this anthology, and then it was one of those things where we had to line up all our timelines with the stories and stuff because it happens in our main world, and it happens around this event, and our stories weren't lining up. And then one of the characters, lovingly corrupted me. But yeah, one of the stories wasn't lining up, and so I had to basically delete the second half of it and then rewrite it. And by the end, he was like, "This is a comic book character," and I was like, "Neat! What does that mean?" And he's like, "You should write a comic book." And I was still reluctant, kind of kicking and screaming. I'm like, "No, I don't know anything about this." And then he basically continued to lure me in. He's a hard guy to say no to, and he's very convincing, and that's why George and I are here today. Corrupted us into a whole bunch of things, and then basically
I know all about this stuff.
I love that origin story. You were pulled into comics, kicking and screaming against it, and somehow you're now a part of it, and you're on Indie Comics Relay.
I'm dragging in other people.
Dragged in, kicking and screaming, and now that you're part of comics, you're just gonna kick and scream every day, like everybody else.
She just came in well prepared. That's all.
There you go. The expectations were set.
Someone said I'm very influenced for sure. Someone just said something, and I'm just like, no, but maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. So I guess we should start off with so ASAP Imagination is the company that started it. Is that what it is? Is that the beginning of this whole saga? Would you guys say?
Well, yeah. So Laurie, I mean, I'll let you talk about the whole ASAP part of it, and then we can go into the global. But go ahead.
Yeah, sure. You would know so Hades is the godfather. George and I are the henchmen. So Hades started ASAP, and from ASAP there's our world, which is the kind of the main universe, and all the stories are interconnected. And then from there he started the Anyone world, which is creator-owned IPs to kind of help other indie publishers bring their stuff to life. Because obviously, like everyone who does comics knows it can be pretty isolating, working on stuff by yourself, and it can also be overwhelming because there's so much to do. Like you got to find artists, you got to promote, you got to publish, printers, everything. So it's like really overwhelming. And basically, we've always been looking for ways to help other people, like through the Anyone world, help people publish and distribute and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then Hades helped us, basically came up with this idea called the Global Indie Group, which is why we're here to talk about that. And it's basically, just like all of everything under one roof. So like as hard as it is to find all that stuff, like you go to this website and people sign up for it, and there's all of the stuff. So there's a podcaster section if you're looking for podcasters. There's an artist section if you're looking for writers. And I feel like I just kind of ended up talking about everything, George. you talk.
Yeah. That's it. Call it a day.
And everybody. I have a tendency to just ramble, so cut me off.
So basically,
finish that.
Yeah. No. So basically, I mean, you guys know, Keith, Johnny, you know, creating a comic book is not the easiest thing, and for us writers, for example, when we're writers, looking for an artist sometimes becomes a hassle, right? Like, sure, it's gotten easier now with Instagram and Fiverr and all these other things. It's gotten easier to find them, right? But what Global Indie Group Gig does is it puts everything in one place. So we're creators, right? And we have this idea, and we're like, how the hell are we going to do this? What do we do first? Okay, if you're a person who doesn't know how to write, we have training sessions in the website, like a training thing where that particular, creator, whatever, will help you how to create or write a comic, right? So say, for example, you wrote your comic book and you're good to go. Okay, I got a comic book, I wrote it, now I need an editor. Oh, good, go into the website, there's my editor tab, hit the editors. There's a list of people who are editors on the website, and you click on their links and go right to them. You speak to them outside of, you don't have to stay in the website to get these people. You step out of that. You guys handle your business outside of the website. There is no commission on the website's end. We don't take any money for anything that's going on that. So that's all you guys. You guys handle that outside of this.
You're strictly connecting people
correct
through your platform.
That's it.
It's funny. I used to work for a job recruitment company way back in another lifetime. And they had this thing called Talent Management Suite, where you upload all your resumes, and through keywords or categories or things like that, you could find whoever you're looking for to hire, so to speak. It sounds like there's a little flavor of that. You're bringing like a very, very useful corporate America tool to indie comics, and I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it's just a one-stop shop. Like, you know what I mean? Like you need, and then once you've gotten this thing edited, you need an artist. Find your artist. You need to promote it. There's podcasts on there. You want to publish it. There are publishers in there. So there's everything in one place for you to just keep coming back and saying, okay, I'm done with this part or this portion of my creative process. Now I need to do this. You can just go right to the site and find what you need. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty easy to kind of navigate.
That's
It's a cool product.
I like that you did. So how involved are you in this, George? So is ASAP the one that started it, and then do you know it's the guy's name?
Yes.
Hades?
So similar to Hades, we call him lovingly. He was actually on our podcast, and great dude. We got to talking, and he was telling me about ASAP Imagination, and we just remained friends online. And one day, I guess he was talking to Laurie also, and he's like, I have this idea, because he's an idea man. Like he's in the UK. It is like what, 2:00 in the morning over there. The man is awake right now. He's in the chat room right now. He's awake. He never sleeps.
Ideas keep him awake.
Did you hear that, Keith? What I heard is we're global now.
Exactly.
I mean, if he wants to come in here, I can send the link to him.
He has it.
Pop in.
Oh, he has it. Okay. If he wants to come in here,
shit, pop on in.
Come in.
Bashful.
But but so continue though, George. So you had him on the show.
We got to talking outside of the show, and we just we created this friendship, just like similar to us, right? Like we same-minded individuals. And one day he just approaches me. He says, "I've been talking to a lawyer about something that I'd like to talk to you about." And I was like, "What is it?" And much like Laurie, it's hard to say no to this guy, right? So he's like, "Do you want to help me out with this thing? Like, you want to?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, man, let's do this." So sure enough, here I am. I'm promoting it. I'm talking to everybody that I know about it because I really believe this is something that we definitely need. We need this because it's like there are so many creators and so many people who don't know the steps or how to get some of these things together. It's a good way to do this. So that's what we're here. That's why Laurie and I are here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you want to make a comic book, there is books you can look at, and there's not many though. I mean, if you really look at, and you probably could go to YouTube and learn from random people, but you always heard the term that like there's so many people that can talk a good game but put out a lot of misinformation about how to make comics, so you never know who you can quite trust on YouTube. So yeah, I feel like and Facebook can only get you so far too, so I feel like something like this is definitely needed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the other thing too is that when you're like, people always say, yeah, I could do Instagram, man. I could just go on Instagram and find myself an artist. And you sure can. But the thing I think for me, the thing that I find going to Instagram, for example, is that some people don't get back to you on like right away. They're not necessarily waiting for you to send them a message. So your message may go unread for months before they even respond to you. If you're on this website as an artist, you're expecting to get some of these, you're trying to connect with a writer because, it's a gig, right? It's a gig. So you're looking for that kind of stuff. So if you sign up for the website, you're pretty much looking to, whether it is do a commission, draw an entire book as an artist and as a writer too, because we have writers on there too. Sometimes artists need writers, right? And sometimes where do they go? where do they go? Twitter?
Right. Johnny's done a few things like that too.
For sure. So actually, I kind of have a two-part question here. Can anybody join the site that's a creative?
Go ahead,
there's different categories. So in theory, there's not a slot for everyone. But I think that if there was enough interest in certain categories, like if you're a musician or like it extends to as many indie groups as you want. But literally, there's no barriers to entry. Like if you want to sign up, there's little membership buttons you can sign up, and there is a fee associated with it, and we decided to do that because we want so Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and like everywhere where you're like, hey, I'm looking for an artist. I feel like 95% of the people that reply are bots or just people who like keyword artists, and then you're like, hey, I'm looking for like just like a gritty artist who can with this style, and you just get people just see the word artist and they're just like apply.
So it's funny that you say that, Laurie, because I recently put the word out on Twitter for a cover artist for a project, and I got people as wily as individuals who are submitting AI art that they typed in to say, oh, this is my portfolio. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you really think that this? I was like, you really think that this? And they had like other people's signatures on it and stuff. So there was and that brings me to my next question. Is there any checks or balances or quality control that's going to basically be implemented into the platform so you don't get like AI scam artists or, people who are passing off other people's work as their own just to try to, maybe make a quick buck on a PayPal payment?
So we have a review. Basically, it's kind of like a community watch in a way, I guess. So like there's a place for reviews so that if you're like, hey, this person uses AI art, you can review that. We're not necessarily policing anything. Like we're not stopping people from coming because it'd be a lot of people to vet, and people can come to us and trick us too and just be like, no, I draw this all myself. And like, we can't do that. Like if people come to us and we're like, I only use AI art, like we do have applications and there'd be like a brief check at the start. But we're not like looking like, oh, this person's like brand new to comics versus this person's been in there like 20 years.
Would it flag them for something like that? Because I know like the AI stuff is kind of a hot button issue with comics right now. Like a lot of people are really like violently against it. And so would something like that, would say you guys took on an AI artist, would that be tagged as an AI artist? So people could use them if they want, or, Yeah,
and this is why we, like I said to you, we try to keep everything off the site. In other words, if you decide to go with an artist, right?
Okay.
And you go to their website and you start looking through their site, part of it is up to you also to kind of see, hey, what's going on with this guy? What is that kind of stuff? Now, let's say, for example, you do hire him to do something and he ends up being an AI artist. Laurie was talking about the review process, right? right underneath their profile, there are stars at the bottom, almost like Yelp does, Uber does, or whatever, where people can rate them and rate their experience. Put in a note, rate how their experience was. Now, we are not going to take somebody off the list if one person comes back and says this guy's a jerk. It could be a personal thing, right? We're going to make sure that. But if there's a pattern, then obviously we got to look into that, right? So that's kind of like the extent of like you know that 5-star system. I think it's 5 stars, right, Laurie? The last time I think it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have that there so that you can kind of like let people know, hey, this was good or this was a bad experience or whatever.
And we kind of think that it would eventually kind of police itself too. Like if someone's consistently getting 1 star, like they are paying for this. So if they're just paying for bad reviews and no one is hiring them, they're going to leave the site, or they should.
I was just going to say, when you're paying into a platform, it almost that in and of itself is a quality control check, because why would you spend the money just for whatever, to scam or to not utilize it to its fullest extent? So something you're investing in, you'd want to obviously utilize to honestly and in a positive manner, so to speak.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that too, having like a small fee, kind of gives it some clout, like legitimizes the site in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
that's what I feel.
100% it. It's people who you're not just trying it out, really. Like you can try it out.
People are serious,
fee, but you have to be serious enough to put out your $6 a month. Like it's not a huge fee, but there's a difference between people who sign up for free things and a difference between people who sign up for $6 a month. You get different people who are going to show up.
So just short of your basic Spotify subscription on a monthly basis, can you kind of go over what people would get by giving in or subscribing to the platform?
Sure. So basically for it's $5.99, right, Laurie? So like for $5.99, you basically get for just under $6. You get
not even $6.
This starving artist, you're $5.99 a month.
Think of what you can do with that extra penny.
That's right. So you basically will get access to the site, and you'll get access to all of the different options that you have, writer, artist, podcast, whatever, and you're able to navigate the site fully for all, to find what it is that you need. Now let's say, for example, you're creating a book this month, and you're like, you know what, hey man, I have $5.99 right now. Let me sign up. Let me go look for my artist. Let me go look for all of that stuff. If you can do it in a month, go for it. You know what I mean? Like you could now, if you want to come back next month and you have another book or whatever, there's no what's the word?
Obligation to
stay on the site, right? It's whatever you need.
So sorry, George, I didn't mean to step on you there, but I was just going to say, it sounds like it's almost conducive to keep coming back and keep having the monthly subscription, because it sounds like a lot of this might be community driven as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So now would it also say like Johnny or me sign up for the site, and like Johnny is looking for writing gigs, like would it work that way too? Like would Johnny be open to getting work as well? Like
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm
no worries. So basically we have it set up as 2 memberships. There's essentially, you can be featured on the website, so you can kind of like post yourself and say I'm open to whatever, like, so I'm on there as an editor. And then so I can just post myself as an editor, and then you can also sign up just as a regular membership, so you're kind of more seeking services. So you can kind of sign up, and then like you might not want to post yourself because you don't want to offer work, but you're looking for work, so you can go into all the tabs. And so they're both $6 a month. And then we also have a job section, so if you don't want to go through everything and you want people to come to you, you can just be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, just like. And so then anyone who has access to the site can go to the job section, and then they can also contact people that way. So those are kind of the main ways. And then if you have more specific, send portfolios, exactly. And the website already has everyone's links and stuff on there. So I know a lot of times you're like, hey, send me your portfolios. Like they're already up there, so you can go look and browse. So you can see the style before you contact the artist if you want, or you can podcasters, you can check out their YouTube, or have people websites or Twitter, like whatever links people wanted to share, they're up there.
I'm getting
cool.
a LinkedIn vibe too about it, which I like.
Yeah, I kind of when Hades pitched it to me, I'm kind of like LinkedIn and Fiverr, but for indies, and then we don't take a commission. So yeah, it's definitely kind of, but like, and also not social media. Like, there's no algorithms. You're not obligated to post 20 times a day in order to be seen or anything
bumped
like
up
that.
higher.
Yeah, there's no tricks like that or anything.
I'm assuming you'll have like your open forum that's just kind of like the open chat, and then you have your more concentrated forums for job requests, things like that.
We don't have an open forum. It's almost more like the job thing's more like almost like a notice board, if anything, where you can go and you like rip off the number and then go contact them. So yeah, like, it's not designed like, if you want to talk to people, you can do that off site. You can negotiate prices and talk projects and stuff. So it's not really like social like that.
Okay,
it's not another social media that you have to.
So it's not like you're going to see a bunch of people promoting their Kickstarter or something like that, right?
No.
Right.
And you said, like, so the negotiation happens off the site. So do people? Will an artist list his rate on the site, or do you have to find that out by just talking to them, kind of thing?
No, that's just all off site. We didn't want to put prices and have people just
that
look
gets
at
messy, Keith.
Yeah, so you guys just kind of provide the connection.
And again, once the prices are like, oh, we listed something wrong. Oh, we changed our price and didn't tell you. And then,
or what if you like one guy but you don't like another guy, so you want to charge him more?
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
and same thing. Like, people, and same thing.
I don't want to say that does happen, but
100% happens. Confirm it.
Never
confirmed right here.
There's a few good comments here too before we go further. We got the exciting thing about new creators like Laurie is they bring their own influences other than the usual suspects. That's true.
That is true. You have an outside perspective to comics. It's valuable.
ASAP said a big creative geeky hub. Also, I too was a recruitment consultant.
Oh, yeah. I used to work at a job site, so I'm sure he's familiar.
It was Monster, right? They used to work for.
I wasn't going to say it, but now it's out there.
Are they even around anymore? I don't think they are.
Yeah, they are. They are.
This episode was sponsored by.
Yeah, it's early. I don't want to wake the neighbors here. I'm all for coming on another time. Sure.
No, it sounds like we have a future episode planned where we're going to bring you in.
Friendly indie community has been very helpful to me over the years. Yeah, definitely.
Think about all the indie comic community resources, like even the Malar forums. A lot of people got their start through there. You know what I mean? So the community is, part of the lifeblood of making indie comics.
And then Manuel said, "Good idea." David said, "I wish I had something like Gig had been around when I started hurting artists about 7 months ago." Yeah, Dr. Mass said that's all eBay used to be, community police. Now it's all corporate nonsense. Yeah, that's true.
I hate the corporate nonsense.
Amy said this sounds very useful and helpful.
Damn right.
Jay Wizard said, "Hey guys."
Hey.
I'm liking this idea. I was planning on using LinkedIn to find writing work. This feels more focused. Yeah, I definitely think this definitely would be more focused. A linked indie. Boom.
That's why you get to do
that. The idea, man.
So it sounds like an online Yellow Pages for creators.
I'd say, would that be the vibe? Angie's
like a Craigslist or
kind of thing.
Yeah. The idea is
it's funny. It depends on the age group when you say Yellow Pages, right? Because Yellow Pages,
there's a significant crowd that has no idea what that means.
Yeah. Ben just dated himself so hard.
It's like a Rolodex.
Laurie just dated herself so hard. Although I do have a Rolodex right over
there. He said, "I'm old."
I'm old, aren't we all, brother? My knees.
Yeah, dude, don't worry.
Jeremy's with us tonight. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Jeremy.
Good to see you, man.
Jeremy Courtney, naked comic book reviews. Send him your comic book. He will review it naked.
Really?
Swear to God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Notes for later.
That is an interesting way to do.
We might have to branch out and do Indie Comics Relay after dark.
After dark.
Can you imagine? Oh man! But yeah, let me show the site real quick.
Yeah, let's
while
fire
we're
that up.
talking here, so people can see what this looks like. You know, let me see. And there we go. So yeah, this is the main page, correct?
Yes.
Is there anything like that we should take a look at while we're here, or
So
just
oh, look at
I don't know
that.
that you'll be able to go inside, but I don't think they can, right, Laurie? With
probably because you have to pay, right?
There's definitely like the members only VIP lounge.
So if you guys have
Gotcha.
your own credentials and you're on a laptop, you guys can present. I don't know if you want to be able to take us behind the curtain of what it looks like inside the paywall, but
I feel like I would probably click on something and also be like, oh god.
oh no,
It's all right. We can just look at what's here.
Yeah.
this is like when Windows 97 broke.
Yeah. You guys will just spend 10 minutes me trying to remember my password.
One thing I think you guys could use right off the bat that I'm looking at, like you don't have a section for letterers?
We don't. You know, it's funny because I was actually gonna ask you guys that because we don't have one yet. Although there are some of the people on this already do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that actually would probably be a good.
I think that actually be a great suggestion, and only because I feel like when people need a letterer, they have a harder time finding that than an artist, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We have our letterers under artists right now. So like,
oh, you
artists
do?
there's
Okay.
pencilers, inkers, colors, letterers, and just general other artists. And then
gotcha.
You can also
so you don't
search.
You keep it all under one banner.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah. Right now, like potentially there's always opportunity to adjust the pages and stuff like based on feedback. But there is a search, so you can just type like assuming an artist is a letterer, and they put that in their bio, and because each little artist has a bio, which again you can't click on it yet, but
Gotcha.
they can say that they're a letterer, and if you search that, it'll just pull up everyone who's a letterer.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure there's probably a lot of crossover between categories, right? Somebody
Yeah,
who
for sure.
makes comics,
yeah.
but
Like
also
you can type
podcasts.
in you could type in someone and they'd show up in all kinds of different searches. Like there's people who are writers, artists. Like there's a lot of multi-talented people who you're gonna find in various sections.
So it's more conducive to pretty much make this your creative CV, where you're uploading your creative resume, and then that way the engine itself, when it searches, it can find
for sure
what people are looking for, right?
Yeah, you basically just keyword yourself to some extent. Like you write a legit, it's not just like a checklist of things. But then also same thing, like once you click into someone's profile, like the websites are there. So like if someone wants to find out more about someone or go look at the portfolio, like whatever they wanted to share, like some people are just like, yeah, just email me. That's the best way to figure things out. And you can just email people too.
Great. So I'm going to go through these categories a little bit here. I mean, we all know the artists, the editors. So what's the crowdfunding? Is that just lessons on how to be a good crowdfunder?
So right now we have Crowdfunder on the site. So if you click crowdfunding, you will find Crowdfunder, the platform itself on the website. We're hoping to include more crowdfunding platforms on the site as we move forward. But right now, if you go into crowdfunding, you literally go into the platform itself. So you can go into like, how do I raise money for this comic book? Oh, here's a crowdfunding. Oh, okay, crowdfunding. Let's go.
Well, and it's the same thing. Like there's a few big players out there, and I'm not going to go into names and stuff, but people are getting a little disenchanted with certain people and stuff. So like more, I guess, indies in theory are popping up and offering more crowdfunding opportunities. So if you don't want to go with the big ones, like there are smaller ones that exist, and they can populate themselves on here as well. So
yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, because I've been hearing like crazy things from both the big two lately, and it's just like, you want to look for these alternatives. Like I did hear about Crowdfunder, but I haven't tried it. I heard that's a newer one that's popped up.
I met Dave at SPX. Dave from Crowdfunder.
Yes,
he's the guy that runs it.
He's one of the head guys over there. Real nice guy, looked like a really interesting platform. I wanted to get him on the show. I just haven't.
You should
get him on.
We had him on. We had him on Catch the Craze, and he broke down the whole thing. Went into the website, went behind the scene. He did it all. So yeah, you guys should definitely talk to him. Really, really cool dude. Very down to earth.
Nice. Love to shine a light on that. On that.
Yeah. He's an open book, man. He's an open book.
That's cool.
He's very transparent. He holds no punches. You ask him something, he'll answer it. That doesn't have a problem with it. So yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he seemed real nice in person when I met him.
I think that could be something though that you guys could do. I don't know if there's anybody that would do a lesson on crowdfunding, but I feel like
Russell
sometimes that's
Nolte
a
would be a
tough,
good resource for that.
What'd you say, Johnny?
Russell Nolte would be a good resource for how to run a crowdfunder.
Yeah, there's a few people that know how to do it.
Tyler
how to build
from
the
Comics
hype
Tribe.
Yep.
Yep.
Feel like that's a whole science unto itself.
It
that
really
people
is.
might not know.
It's a crash course in marketing, really.
Yeah.
Well, we have the teaching section, so if anyone's listening,
anyone
of those guys are listening and they want to sign up and like they can list a course and stuff and like.
And again, like we don't determine whether it's paid for or free or whatever. You know what I mean? We just supply the information for you to go in there. I think Morgan Quaid has part of the training. He's part of the training. He's in the training section, and part of what he helps you with is novel writing, one-on-one novel coaching, comic writing 101, one-on-one comic coaching, crowdfunding, project support he has listed. So if you were to reach out, if you were to sign up and you went into that, that's who you would be talking to. And so you would be linking with him and he would be able to walk you through whatever it is that you may need. So again, it's not a thing where we're like, we're getting anything out. It's a matter of here's the training module. Go in there, see what you find, see what you like, and then go for it. Then you talk outside. How much that would cost, we don't know because we don't make the, we don't make the prices, so they could be
right. But you guys are at the beginning of this too. Like I feel like that's something that can be, grow with the site, and as things get added, you probably do things like that. But yeah, editors is a good one too. Like you don't see a lot of offers for editing out there,
film and video. That's pretty cool.
Film and video. That's cool. So would that be like all aspects of film and video, or like your crowdfunding videos, things like that?
Yeah, you get animators, you get people who make little promo videos, people who make full feature films.
That's
basically
great.
Connect whoever you want.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jobs, podcasts. How does the podcast thing work? Is that just link you up with, like, if I go on there, is like Catch the Craze #1 on there? Or is that like...
actually,
the only one in there.
If I'm not, I'm insulted. No, I'm just kidding. No, so basically what it is, we want to make it for the indies, right? And there are a lot of podcasts out there that say, for example, I want to promote my book. They may not be indie friendly. These guys may be huge and they may not want your stuff on there. The podcasts that are on there right now are indie friendly. Gotcha. So if you do have something that you want to promote, you can definitely reach out to these guys and say, like, you guys would be a perfect podcast for that, for example, right? And it works both ways, because your podcast not only is listed on there, it could also generate subscribers, people following you. There's more eyes on the podcast, so that helps the podcasters as well as giving you content, to have more creators on there, and then the creator gets exposure by being on your podcast. So it helps both parties. So that's what's great. In the podcast.
Yeah, that's great. That's like a reason to join right there.
Yeah.
Publishers, so small publishers, small indie publishers, reviewers. That's cool. So you guys would compile like a lot of comic reviewers, movie reviewers, things like that into the site as well.
Yeah,
that's cool. And then
I wonder if there's enough room on the servers to maintain all the egos of the publishers under that category.
Possibly. I don't know.
I wonder how many terabytes that translates.
How many gigs? What's that?
So I wonder how many terabytes that translates to.
And then the training. How does that actually work too? Like.
So yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, George.
No, go ahead.
Let's just both talk at once. So we go. It's just basically people who offer training. They can post themselves, they can list courses, and they can, again, just link to their sites and stuff and tell you what they specialize in. So various things like that.
Gotcha.
Like it's not something like there's not like events in there where you like click in and then sign up and then you're taken to some classroom or anything. Like it's all people.
Gotcha. So you could take you to a site that does that stuff, or that person offers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there aren't any like YouTube videos in there or anything like that.
Gotcha.
That's not what you're gonna find in there.
But like I said, like as you grow, that might become a thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know.
Do you know what your subscriber base is, numbers wise, is at the moment?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm also not sure we're sharing that. Just look for Hades, Hades in the chat there.
Behind the curtain here. My apologies.
we reached out to a lot of people in the beginning, and we've built up basically a pre-community.
Okay, that was my concern.
So that you're not just showing up and no one's there right now.
Right,
showing up, and we've reached out to a lot of quality people that we've built connections with and invited them on the website, and they have agreed to be on the website. So
that's great. Is there a big marketing push that Gig is gonna start doing with
well, so part of what we want to do is this, obviously get on podcasts, do presentations like this. I actually want to hit some conventions and maybe do panels to promote the fact that this is out there for people, if you want to create, because you got a lot of publishing panels and I didn't mean to do the air quotes, publishing panels at conventions. And I think that that's very informative for people who want to, maybe, pitch to a publisher. But again, I don't think there is enough information out there on where to go to do this, to put a comic book together. I don't think there's enough out there for people who have no idea how to do this.
I agree with you. And like me and Johnny have been on comic book creating panels at Comic Cons, and there's a lot of people that show up for those, and they have tons of questions about that stuff. And it's not, I mean, I think back to when I was starting to make comics, and how there was nothing, and you just kind of had to learn. It was just and it was like going to conventions, and I remember getting my artists that way by meeting people there and being like, hey, want to do my comic, but like there's definitely better ways to go about that, so
I just want to say the monthly expense to any experienced creator out there that's actively working and putting an honest to God living towards the process is that this resource would be a tax write-off anyway.
Right.
So go for it. What could it harm you? If anything, open the door and make it a little bit easier for you in your creative process, in your need to find and work with new people. And that's the other thing too, is like you find individuals, they tend to stick together when they, find somebody they work with well, and they don't really branch outside of that. I personally like to work with all different types of creators from everywhere. So to have a database or a resource or a community where people are actively looking to branch out like that, I find that to be invaluable as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the fee like you said, the fee kind of helps in a way, like you invest in yourself, right? If you know
it legitimizes it, like
it legitimizes it. And if you know you're serious about it,
right?
Like, I think it's worth spending the money about it.
Yeah. And I think it is kind of cool because you can sign up and just feature yourself and basically just set it and forget it. And you do kind of rely on the fact that like the internet is it relies on the rabbit holes that people go down. Because even if you're like not accepting work or you're too busy to take something on, like people are clicking on you and they're like, oh, you did that comic. That looks kind of neat. And all of a sudden you're on their website and all of a sudden you're purchasing comics and all of a sudden like that, right? Like, even if you're not getting a job out of it, like maybe someone's buying one of your comics. And I guess one of the things that's worth mentioning too is it isn't just comics. Like you can be a novelist, you can be short stories and stuff. Like we come at this from a bit of a comic perspective, but it's for everyone. Anyone who's Indian out there.
It's indie, right? Like that's why you guys have an indie group, which I think is perfect. I mean, indie comics kind of is like why we're all here, but like but indie can be anything, So indie movies, indie music,
And the word global, right? Because as we know, the internet just has made the world so much smaller. I mean, we can reach out to people all over the world with our podcast, with whatever. So this is that you could be working, and people do already. I know I do for my comic book. I work with people, with artists in the Philippines. So I've been working globally with people outside of the US. So I think it's something that we were passionate about. I mean, Laurie and I wouldn't be here if we weren't. You know what I mean? And I think it's important. I just think that it is important for people to like, if you really, like you said, Johnny, if you're serious, and you too, Keith, if you're serious about doing this, then this is a perfect place to kind of go check it out. See, let me see what, if I can find what I'm looking for here, an artist, writer, what if film. I'm ready to do an animation for my comic. Where do I go? Oh, cool. This guy does animation.
Me too, dude. I definitely, I want to look for, I would love to do an animation of Mighty Mascots, but I'd love to do like just an awesome, like 1 minute intro for like what the show would be, like a Thundercats intro. That's what I want.
I love the puppet, so dude. I didn't even realize you had a puppet.
You're like,
oh my God.
That's sweet.
Amy made that. My wife made that.
I knew Amy did that. That's amazing. She did a great job. That's great.
Yeah, isn't that thing awesome? So good.
I love it. Did you voice it? Was that your voice?
No, that was my buddy Mike did the voice for it. And we make fun of him. We're like, whenever I see him out, I'm like 9, like she's 9.
He was playing a character.
I know. I gotta do a little busting,
Looks like we got some good questions in the chat.
Yeah, there was some good questions here. First one we got: are there extra charges for those that list in multiple categories? That's a good question.
Nope.
No, so it's you pay one fee. You can be listed in all of the categories if you want.
Yeah. We have people who are writers, editors, publishers. We have people who are, artists, writers, editors. Like, you can be, you just let us know where you want to be featured on top of whatever you're doing, and we'll put you on there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Actually, real quick, while I'm thinking of it. So say like, I'm featured in podcasting and I'm featured in comics, or as a writer rather. If I click on podcast, would it only show like the podcast portion of my profile? Or my bio, or would it just show me as a overall, and the person would have to find it, I guess?
You could list. So in your bio, you have the chance to say what else you do. If you clicked on podcast, so we have people, if you're a podcast and a writer or something, so you'd fill out your writer section, fill out your podcast section, but you could also mention that you do the other ones, so people might go doing it. They're not necessarily linked right now, but. And then also, I think if they just search your name, you would show up in both.
You'd show up under that.
Well, I think, Johnny, are you trying to say like if your picture comes up and underneath it, you have these multiple titles like podcast writer? I think he's trying to say, will just one of them show up? Like, would podcast show up, or would you also see writer, editor, that kind of thing under?
Do the credentials move between categories? I guess.
Can I share my? I'll just share for example, my thing, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
please.
I think it's just easier if let me just present. I've turned off everything else on my screen, guys, so don't get excited.
No, but it'd be cool just to see what it kind of looks like. I guess.
Let me know when you can.
His background's actually just Sam playing with a bunch of puppies.
So I went into the search, right? So I typed in my name, and there I am. And so I'm listed here like this, but
look at that handsome fella right there.
Look at that. I'm blushing. Stop it. Hold on. Let me just put my name back in here. Because then what happens is when I hit search, the results come out, writer, podcast, and then I'm also in there because I'm being published through Darkfire Press. So when you search for, let's just say Laurie. Let's see how Laurie's coming out. Your last name, Laurie
Cunningham.
Yeah.
If only it was on the screen somewhere.
if only it was there. Why don't they make it easier for me? Oh, look at it. It's artist. You came up as artist, Laurie.
That's fun. Oh, I'll be under LA Cunningham. You could just probably type Cunningham.
See?
My writer name, sorry.
Oh, that's your writing name.
Oh no.
There you go.
You're on there.
Right,
okay, so I can see you're coming up as both an editor and a writer.
There she is.
Gotcha.
So you got editor, writer, coming up as because this is what she wrote.
And then I show up in other people's places because Sarah Butcher was the editor on one of the books I wrote with.
So that's even cool because now you think, oh wow, she's also an editor. Now you can go to Sarah.
Yeah,
and
let me go check out her credentials.
So we'll just do something like this.
Well, and then for sure, and also you're like, oh, I like this. Like you can almost like learn from people accidentally. Like, oh, who like which editor did this person use? Be like, oh, okay, I'll go use the same editor
Exactly.
they use.
And then you see, and then you got hyperlinks like ASAP Imagination. So then you click on it, and then you can just start going, and then you just go right to their website.
Yeah, it's like a rabbit hole a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just go right into the rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I like it. I think I think that's really cool.
That is cool.
What was the other question?
Manuel had a really good question as well. It looks like
is there a business application to the site? I mean, if I have my comic done, but I need help with maybe the copyrights, how to do taxes as an artist, etc. Those are all great things that people don't think about. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It baffles me to hear about people who do conventions and they try to hustle real hard, but they're not saving their receipts or they're not writing off their taxes or things like that. And it's like, you're making it harder on yourself. Why would you do that? Like, just play the business, do the business.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that question, man, that's a great question, man. But I think that there are podcasts for indies that cover things like that, for example. So if you were looking for things that, you know, questions like that, for example, and you're like, let me go check out the podcast, see if they have anybody who's talking about that. You can easily just go to these podcasts that you know, talk about indie things, and these are great things to talk about in podcasts, right? Like those are great examples of like topics that we could totally tackle as podcasters for indies, for example, because you're right. We don't think about how taxes as an artist, you know, copyright information. A lot of conventions are asking for tax ID numbers now too.
When it looks like Katie's answered, I assume that's what he's answering down below. It looks like he answered in the chat that's something that we could definitely look into adding into the training section. We don't have anyone right now, but it is one of those things, like it's a new site and we are looking at like, what do people want? Like we'd love to hear feedback and stuff. You're like, hey, I'd like really love if this was on there and something, or like this part of the website is really confusing. We try to make it as user friendly as possible, but it's new. So like it's
new. You guys just launched this month, right? Because that's
I think February. It's still February. It's 2 weeks old.
February,
not even.
I know.
I feel like
feels like it's been around forever already.
Right.
There's a lot of work put into it. That's why.
That's awesome. I feel like those are all great questions. Like the stuff that, you know, I know me, Johnny and George have been around for the block for a little while here making comics, and we probably know that stuff, but I take that for granted because I do know the tax stuff for years now, and also the copyright thing, you know. But newer creators. What's that?
And you guys do a great job here on the podcast. For example, you have that whole series on table displays and how to set up your table. You know what I mean? So these are very useful things for indies. Like, oh man, how do I set up a table? Oh, well, here you go, guys. And you were outside on your table, like showing people what you have on your table. And I found that very useful when I was looking. And I've been doing this for a while, and I still find that information useful. So it doesn't matter how long you are I guess what I'm trying to say is, no matter how long you are in the business, there's always something that you are learning new things.
Oh, still to this day, like I'll go to a convention this year. I can guarantee I see a table that I'll see a display and I'm like, ooh, I like that.
That's cool.
You know?
Well, so we saw one right before the show. You got to pimp those displays.
That's right.
Check this out.
Okay, so let me set this up before you show it.
Okay,
so
go for it.
Dig this.
Back in the green room, George would say, hey, you got to check out this display I got. And he showed us this thing, and I was like, whoa, that is awesome. That's a game changer. So
Keith,
George,
make it big.
Let me blow up your screen here and show off this new display you got.
So these displays, these little things here, and Wham stand, I'm gonna charge you. This is these stands, dude. So I met this guy online, Wham stand. Go check him out, guys. He creates these things with a 3D printer, and he puts your logo on them. And these things are cool because it allows you to put your book on the stand itself.
Awesome.
So not only are you marketing
copies.
You're able to sell your book, but they know what the title of the book is. Obviously, it's on the top, but still, like these are just cool things that you see from far away. You know what I mean? And it's like, and this is a graphic novel, so it fits. I can fit like 2 or 3 books in here.
Yeah,
he actually
I love
sent me
it, dude.
this huge one that he just did because he knows I have graphic novels. I could put like 5
Love
or
the
10 books in
grooves.
this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's cool. He does little QR codes out of it,
Look at that.
which are
Yeah.
really cool, with like your logo on top. So these are things that you don't, you're like, how can I make my display a little different? Or like you were saying, Johnny, like just more
Like
space
stand out.
on your table. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
these are great ways to just, space in your table. So yeah, no, I thought these were really, really cool.
Coming from somebody who has to like weigh their suitcase to make sure that the goods that you're carrying will make it through TSA,
Right.
to be able to downsize and have things like that they look pretty lightweight, right? They're
Yeah,
3D
they
printed.
are. They really are.
Yeah, man, like
they
that
really
is invaluable, and they look pretty sturdy too. So they're not
Oh,
like
yeah.
those plastic those plastic display holders that crack and
No,
break.
these things,
Those look
these
pretty
things,
strong.
Yeah,
man.
that's
they
cool,
are.
dude.
That's the
They're
business right
strong.
there.
Yeah,
I
no,
like it.
they're
I gotta
good.
get at least one of those with the mascots.
I want to get a whole
going on.
set. Are you
That would be
kidding me?
great.
Like,
Yeah, no,
we
that's
deck
fine.
out the
And
table.
he goes over the colors with you, like what colors would you like, like it's cool. It's kind of, because it's boutiquey. So he's very much into like, okay, what do you like? He gave me like, so these are for like my my business cards. He gave me like 3 versions of this thing, just because I was like, I wasn't sure. He was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'll just print these out. And then he just started printing these out,
That's
so
really cool.
yeah, so talking about just how to set up tables, this you always come up with new things, and you never know.
Yep.
That guy should be on gig. I mean, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm not even kidding. Like,
let him know. Yeah, no,
he
for
should.
sure.
Like, I mean, he could. I bet he'd pick up tons of work just
adding a
making
merch
those
section.
things. What'd you say, Laurie?
Adding a merch section next.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
the more the merrier, right? Like that's the more value you can add for the fee that you pay monthly. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
I mean, the goal is to keep people staying on the site, right? And either getting work from there or soliciting work from there, so
Absolutely.
I think as the community grows too, the site inevitably would grow stronger, because the more people you bring to the table, the more skill sets that are there, the more people can choose from and pick from and things of that nature. So that's really cool. Like, you're building, you're getting the word out there. And then, in no time, you're going to find that you have this wonderfully built, skilled community of, different resources for whatever part of the indie, scene that you're in,
And that's the thing. There's so many, like you talk about, the skills of some of these creators isn't just one thing. A lot of us are skilled at a few things, and when you can list them all in one place, why not?
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, like when I'm not busy making my own comics, I do lettering work for other people, so it'd be worth it just to be on there just for that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you forget too. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I did shoot music videos. Oh, I did make a film. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
Like, you don't, when you do so much, it's like you forget all like the different facets you could be working in, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of creators in all genres and music, video, and comics could get a lot from this site. And then
it's funny, we have so many guests and that are both musicians and comic book creators. That like almost goes hand in hand. Like, you create music and you create comics. That's just what a lot of people do, and it's so interesting to find so many people cross over that way.
And same thing with writers, like Laurie here, novelist, and then also into comics now. And, I mean, maybe she'll write music. You never know, so write a film someday,
One day.
One day.
Hades to suggest it, and I'll be like, no, but maybe.
Yeah, you never know.
Laurie literally just got incepted live before our eyes. Tonight she's going to be in bed going, maybe I should write a song.
Write an album. I just write a whole album.
Over here all of a sudden. Grab my guitar.
Yeah, right. I was gonna show ASAP's Imaginations website here as well. Like,
fire it up.
They now these are the this is Hades, who's actually behind or mostly the person that conceived the gig site? Is that
Yeah, this was his
accurate?
original idea, and then he lured George and I into it to
Lord.
help
Yeah.
do various
Hey
things.
kid, I got some indie comics in the back of my van.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
awesome.
ooh. I was like, ooh,
driving
come
around a
here.
white van full of comics.
So is this is he a publisher as well? Is that what
Yeah, so
ASAP
ASAP
Imagination
Imagination.
is?
Yeah, so you'll find ASAP on the indie publisher section of Gig.
Nice.
So
nice.
yeah, so we have like Our World, which is all of the stories are within one universe. So the top half of that mosaic is all of the ones that are interconnected. Actually, not quite. Perspectives snuck in there. That was a charity anthology that we kind of launched the Anyone World with, which is a creator-owned IP platform. So it's all of like basically people come to us with pitches at various, like basically like finished graphic novels, or I'm trying to write a comic and I need some help, and we basically help anywhere along the line of helping them find artists, helping them distribute, promote, whatever, edit, basically. find whatever we can. So the ASAP Imagination kind of has everything in one section, and then the Anyone World has focused us on the other creator-owned stuff. And then we also have ASAP Minis, which is basically a children's imprint as well. So got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, seriously. That's a lot. I mean, look at all these books. How long has ASAP been around?
I believe we're 2.5 years old. So still
Really?
like pretty
wow.
new. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of books for like 2 years, which is good.
Yeah, we're basically with our comics, I think we launched with Messiah was the flagship comic, and then the anthology that Hades and I co-wrote together way back in 2020. And then we had a big kind of push towards our Anyone World, and with like the Big Book of Bob and Non-Union Psychic and Dog Eaters and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of stuff followed. And then last year we basically hit the ground running on our main stuff, which is Our World. We have the Anyone World and then Our World, so they're all connected. But we're doing one comic a month, so we got a lot of the stuff coming out there, because I guess we basically released almost like 12 issues since we started doing that. Not quite, but almost there.
So do you guys take submissions from outside creators, or are you only focusing on internal projects?
No, so I actually see you have the Anyone World tab open at the top on the other one. If you click on submissions, and we're actually in the process again. I don't know if we're announcing it quite yet, but we're changing a few things here. George is in on it, of course, but yeah, but this will still exist. You can still come to us with projects and we'll help publish you, but we're kind of opening up a new thing in the next couple of weeks, because Ideas Man never sleeps and he's always coming up with new things going on. So yeah.
So it sounds like it's like distribution you guys are going to be working on, or
perhaps like we already do that, but yeah, we're kind of opening up our distribution, and kind of like, I'm not going to give it all away, but
okay.
This is Paul. Yeah, we had him on the show not too long ago.
Keith, she's not giving up the info. You be good cop, I be bad cop.
I feel like I'm basically giving it all up.
I think there's a follow-up. There's a follow-up episode coming up down the road.
Yeah.
Right? Nice.
Hades already signed up for a future episode, so he can.
We're in.
Once we revamp this whole thing, you can explain it a bit more. But yeah, right now, anyone with an idea to a finished comic can come with us. We can help print, distribute, market, edit, find cover artists, fine artists, whatever people need. So basically, we just want to help people. That's kind of the.
I'm going to share some of these links in the chat so people can check it out.
That's great too. I mean, you guys really literally everything you're doing is in support and helping the indie comic community. And I tweeted about it earlier this week, but like, I feel like if you're not in it to help and to move things forward, then what are you doing here? We don't want you here. Like, and it's awesome that you guys are you're feeding into it, and you're supporting, and you're doing some good work to help reinforce indie creators, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but like George and I are actually we're in the middle of, I guess in the middle of it, but we're doing a charity anthology right now where all of the proceeds go to it's Free Arts NYC, which is helping youth in kind of, I think, New York City, and just kind of underserved youth, and so they can kind of follow their creative dreams and stuff. So you have a whole bunch of writers and artists donating their time. And it's one story, and then every 2 weeks we were drawing a name, and then people were continuing on the story, basically the telephone game where there was like a general storyline to follow, but each writer kind of just got to carry on with the story and stuff. So it's like a fun little project.
So like one writer will start and then you got to pick up.
So Hades wrote the first 10 pages, and then he drew a name, and then the next person wrote the next 10 pages, and then we're going to have a different artist for each 10 pages. And it's totally open to new artists and stuff as well. So.
It's like a remixed issue. I love that.
That's cool. We've seen people do that in different forms, and it's actually really cool. It's really fun, and unpredictable, which I like.
People went rogue with it a few times, and I was the lucky editor on the whole thing. So I'm trying to put it all back together.
You like flip like page 6. They do what now?
I just like, this happened in page 80. Line up with page 3.
Continuity errors out the wazoo.
Of course, that goes out the door. That's awesome.
We're still trying to make it a little cohesive. It's not just completely random.
I can't wait to see what the artists do with all of these pages. It's going to be insane.
I mean, that's awesome that you guys are doing it for charity too, which is really cool. Are you guys going to crowdfund that, or is it just put it together?
It's just all people donating their time. Like all the writers basically just volunteered, and same thing with artists, and it's completely open to new artists. Like we've talked to a few people who just kind of break into it, and they're like, if you want to try. And again, like we're a big mix of people where you have a whole bunch of writers who are also artists, and we have people who've been doing this for a while, and people are kind of new to it. So there's resources there. So it's not like you're like, hey, I'm looking at like trying to figure it out. It's not like it's just like, well, I've never done this before. Good luck. Like we're there, like same thing. It's always there to just help people. Like I feel like it's always one of those weird things where you're trying to be all business and professional, but really we're just like all being like just geeking out over comics and want to help each other. So it's not professional at all.
I feel like you can work as hard as you play, right? We can get away with that as long as the work's getting done.
You know what I loved about working with Laurie and with Paul is that we've been doing this for a while. We can get jaded when you've been doing this for a long time, right? And then people like Laurie come along, people like Paul come along, who still have that fire, because they don't know. They're like, oh my God, this is so great.
We are bright-eyed and naive.
It's infectious, right? Because here, we've been doing this for years, and then they come and we're like, you know what? It was fun. This is fun, and it just infectious, and you start having fun again. You know what I mean? And that's why part of being part of the indie community. I think that we do help each other out. I mean, there are going to be some bad apples. Not every single community is perfect, but for the most part, there are people trying to help each other out, like what you guys do, what we're doing. It's to help the up and coming, indies, help, keep this thing alive, keep it going, So I'm having a blast. I'm actually writing one of the stories. Paul again reached out. Hey, do you want to write this? Okay. Do it. And,
he does this thing where you're like maxed out on time and capacity, and he's like, well, what about this one other thing? And you're just like, that's too good not to do it. Shit.
Right.
Fine. I mean,
the power of a really good idea, though. Right.
A really good idea.
That's how he gets everyone.
It's true. But I feel that too. Like, like the excitement about it, like when you get newer creators that are just like really into it, and us jaded old men that have been in the industry.
Who did that for me recently was Nandor Fox. That kid's got such potential.
I know you're talking about.
He's got so much fire in his belly. I freaking love that kid. He
does.
To wake up, to have that mentality of like, I'm just gonna hit the books hard today. And and just like make it happen. Like he's that in spades. And after we had him on the show, I was like, man, this kid's like he's the kid to model yourself after, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like way back when he first started writing his first comic, he's like, oh, I'm gonna submit to a publisher, and he's just like, screw it, I'm gonna start my own publishing company. And then same thing, like people
That's
would
the way
look
to
at,
do it.
yeah, and people would look at Gig, be like, well, LinkedIn already exists, Fiverr already exists. And he's like, screw it, I'm gonna start a new thing that's even better. Like you need people to do that.
Yeah, I like
find
the
those
hard
pieces.
focus on indie though. Like I
Yeah.
think that's what'll make it work, you know.
Yeah.
And if you guys can get it in front of enough of the indie community, I think it could work, you know.
Yeah.
And like I'd love to see what Gig looks like in a year, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, as far as like members and like what other classes and things like that are offered, or what other categories you guys may add, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
To me also it's like what projects came out of it. You know what I mean? How many
that'd
people,
be great.
How many
to
people linked
keep
up?
track of that
And,
too, like
and how many
like,
projects actually came out of this?
Yeah, like how
that would
many
be great
like
for me to see.
successful crowdfunders happened,
Right.
or
Mhm.
Right.
yeah, honestly, that's all stuff that'd be great to keep track of, you know. And you know, yeah, I don't know, Johnny, you were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say, I feel like if you guys just keep disrupting people's common methods of connecting and working on books, that you know you can really become a front runner when it comes to, you know, where do you go to find creative people.
Right.
And you know, Gig can be that platform, as common as, you know, global comics is becoming. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And it's very exciting to see you guys in these early stages.
Like like to be able to go to Gig instead of Facebook and Twitter. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I like the sound of that already.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire sites, you know, but like, yeah, no, I like it a lot. I think it's great. Did you guys have any other thoughts on Gig that we didn't cover that you wanted to kind of mention, or?
I can't think of anything right now that
I
think
think
we
I feel
covered
like
it,
we. I hope
You can't
we
put them on the
mentioned
spot
everything.
like that, Keith. They weren't prepared for that kind of question.
Headlights.
I think you guys covered it. You guys did a
So
great job.
sign up.
Harry says, ugh, didn't know you guys were on tonight. Did you guys already discuss Cocaine Bear? No, unfortunately, that did not come up yet. But anyways, Harry's like our resident chat comedian, basically.
Oh, Harry's
you
the
know?
best.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
he's
love it.
funny. He
You
always
need
has, like, a
those.
nice-
You need those in these.
Oh,
Slack
God,
chats.
yeah.
You do need those.
Do you guys have any sign-on promos or anything like that are coming up?
Any
Sign-on
like
promos or
promos?
Yeah, or anything like that coming up?
I think the fact that we just started it as our promo. We have a new thing. That we should sign up. Yeah, I think that like it's priced so it's like reasonable and stuff. And I know,
Sure.
I think that's kind of our main thing. And then just getting the word out. There may be some incentives later on.
I was going to say, is there any incentivizers or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the incentivizers is like get your stuff on there.
Get your shit done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I like that.
Make some projects.
Don't
Bring your dreams to life.
yeah. No, I dig it. I think it's a smart idea, and it looks nice, and the fee kind of gets rid of, like, I don't want to say the clowns, but like the people that well, you know what I'm talking about. The people that aren't serious
the
about
spammers, the bots.
Unless you're looking for real clowns. Because there could be a section for real clowns.
We're gonna have an indie clown section.
you know what I'm talking about.
If you need somebody who's proficient in balloon animals or something. You know?
Mines and things of that nature.
Well, no, what I mean, and you guys know this, is
that'll be under film and media. It's fun.
Yeah, there you go. Film and media. We can have Bozo,
you can have
whatever.
balloon.
The mime section is really, really quiet.
Yeah. But no, we can get rid. It helps separate the people that are serious about making comics or making art from the people that are kind of like, you know, just went to Kinko's and put like 4 pieces of paper together and called it a comic. You know what I mean? Like that kind of level, I guess I was getting at, you know.
And the site's pretty too. I mean, it's kind of elegant in its simplicity where it's just nice white and black, you know, basic categories. It reminds me almost of like the early days of Craigslist, not to like, make a comparison to that slant, but it was just like, it was very straightforward and basic but also beautiful in its execution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I think it also makes it nice. Like when you click on artist, it's like you have this black and white site and you click on an artist and you get this pop of art.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
it makes
that's
that
true
nice
too.
little,
Yeah.
like contrast and stuff. It lets it showcases the people who are on there as opposed to the like we're just like holding up people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you guys already covered this. You're billed monthly, but you can cancel anytime, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, awesome.
Stay on there.
I don't know. I'm ready to wrap it up, and we've been going almost 90 minutes. And did you guys have anything else you wanted to promote, Laurie, George? Anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I mean, I just think, we're here to promote Gig, and if you guys, whoever's out there has no idea how to start a project, wants a project started, I don't know where to go, check out globalindygroup.com, Gig, and sign up and get started.
Let me share the link again. It's also in the
George also wanted to say,
video.
read Wonder Duck.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And listen to Catch the Craze.
Read The Adventures of Wonder Duck and my Rust 5377 book.
Yes.
I forgot about Rust.
Wonder Duck's good, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that book, dude.
Appreciate that, man.
I also have my comics right beside me. I'm super prepared. Feel free to read Sister Grimm issues 1 and 2.
This is Laurie's audition for the mime section of Gig.
Yes, Points Ability issue 3 is coming out, and I have Babies with Rabies is already out on my own website.
Awesome.
I love that title, Laurie. Babies with Rabies. Like, I love that title.
Yeah, I love it. It conjures up a specific image in your mind when you think about that.
It's really fun. The couple Comic-Cons I've been to, like you'll have people walking by and do the double take and then just giggle, walk over.
I'm sold already. I mean, Babies with Rabies. What more can you want?
And then they're like, oh, and then there's comics here too. Buy those as well.
So is that like a novel and then there's comics of it, or is
so like with ASAP and stuff, I have all my comics published through there. And then this was kind of like, it's like an inappropriate parenting kind of picture book, like Go the F to Sleep and K is for Nightfall. So it's like a rhyming ABC survival book. It's like zombies, like Shaun of the Dead meets Mad Max with babies kind of thing. It was one of those things where I'm just like, I wasn't sure if it should be like, I was like, maybe it's too offensive. I don't want it to be associated with
it's filling the void that the Garbage Pail Kids left us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I feel like honestly there was a purpose for it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean,
look at
you
the
don't
cover,
see it
they're
at
like,
shows.
Garbage Pail
Really.
Kids. But yeah, it was just a side project. I was just like, maybe I'll just try it by myself. But then I realized like why Gig exists, because doing it all by yourself is really hard.
Oh, fucking hard.
It's like so hard. I'm like, oh my god, I have to set up a store on my phone. I have to find artists, and you do like the post and the same thing. Like that's like why this exists. Like you post, you're like, hey, I'm looking for an artist, and I'm like, you get just billions of replies, and then people who didn't even read it, and it's hard. So it's nice working with ASAP and having a little community, and then Gig, you have that bigger community, and it's the indie community is awesome. So super fun to be a part of and help where we can.
Yeah, no, I love it. Awesome. Johnny, anything going on in your neck of the woods that you want to shout out, or?
Too much to mention right now. So I just want to say, thank you guys, George and Laurie, for coming on the show, for promoting Gig. It sounds like a really, really cool platform. I can't wait to dive into it a little bit more myself. So creators out there, I mean, take a moment, check it out. Trying to filter through all the crap out there in social media is hard, and these guys are doing a lot of that hard work for you. So I highly recommend going on to Gig, checking out their services, and and getting your work done.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Getting that project completed, without having to do everything yourself,
Yeah. I mean, say you're a guy who just made some hot sauce and you need some labels made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome, by the way, Johnny. I extend my thanks to you guys as well. Thank you for coming on. The link for Gig is in the description of this video, and it's also in the chat if you want to check it out if you're a creator. We also put the link for ASAP Imagination in there as well, so check that out. If you guys after you pay your fee to gig, and if you have some money left, check out the Indiegogo for Mighty Mascots. That link is in the description of the video as well. Check that out. And I think that's about it. It's a wrap for a bonus episode of ICR. Any final words before I close this one out, guys?
I think we said it all, Keith. I think we
got it too.
Be kind to everybody.
All right, and me and Johnny will be back next Tuesday at 9, and then in March we're going to 8:30 p.m. That does that go step on your toes at all, George?
Doesn't matter, dude. Like I catch stuff on replays all the time anyway.
Yeah, right.
You guys don't go on Wednesdays anymore? You used to go on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we it's funny because we were like, I felt like Wednesdays we were competing with everybody, and now I'm finding out that Tuesday's the night. You can't pick a good night. It's just
there isn't a good night.
Nah, there
you just got to do it.
So we decided let's do Tuesdays, and that'll be it. And so we're going to try
8:30
and see how it goes. Nice. So
the more the merrier.
That way they can slide right into you guys right after they watch us, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or vice versa,
Vice versa.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody come back next Tuesday. Me and Johnny will be back next Tuesday with another show. Don't remember who the guests are, but it's going to be somebody awesome. So, all right. Have a great week. And most importantly, read some comics. All right, everybody. Have a good night. All right. Bye.